All right, good Saturday morning here. I was going to start and do this later today, but hey, it's lake effect snow. It's the first snow of the season. I figured I'd get on and talk a little bit about it now, just look at some of the models and see what they're outputting. And then I'll probably talk about it later, do a report later on it once the afternoon models come in and maybe we get a little bit better grip on the lake effect that's going to happen. Probably won't happen because lake effect is literally one of the hardest things to forecast, especially here in Michigan. For some reason, it's just really, really hard. So anyways, we'll start off with just looking at the radar or, the weather model, the HRR model. It's the American model. We'll just go hour by hour. You can see 11 o'clock tonight, it has some snow starting to mix in or snow starting to move into the area. Get in here to 1 a.m. It doesn't look impressive at all. I'll be honest with you, it doesn't. The actual low pressure coming through does not look very impressive. You see it kind of breaks up in the morning. Then this is 8 o'clock Sunday morning. And even here, if you look, it looks like it's snowing across most of the area. But if we take a look at the temperatures, I mean, if you look in like Monroe, Wayne, Macomb County, even up in St. Clair County, you're 33 to 35 degrees. It's not really going to be sticking that much. Again, I don't really expect a lot from this just because of the temps. So we'll go back here and just take a look at it again. We'll talk about what I really want to look at. So this is 8 a.m. and you look by 1 o'clock. Up there, if you look, towards Bay County, Saginaw County, stuff like that, you see these massive lake effect bands coming in. This is kind of crazy. They just keep coming. This is 10 p.m. tomorrow. Bands keep coming. This model only goes through 7 a.m. Monday, and you can see the band going down through Washtenaw, Wayne, Macomb, Monroe. Then, so other models have it going out past that, so we'll see. And then let's just take a look at what it's saying for the snowfall. It's crazy. If you look up towards Bay County, right up there into Thumb, Saginaw County, those 24 inches, that's definitely, I can't say it won't happen. 99.9% sure that's not going to happen. And it has most of the area 3 to 6 inches of snow, but a lot of it is lake effect snow. If those bands set up, I will say our delta T's, which is like the difference between the air temp and the lake temp at the 500 millibar, that's pretty good for a lake effect. So we will see. I know a lot is like those shows 24 inches, but a good thing really to look at is the snow depth to see how much is actually there, and it's showing 20 inches still. I did not think it would show that. So again, well, that's one model here. We'll take a look at another model just for fun. Like I said, we'll go through a few of these. Let's go to the 3K NAM, and let's go back here. Just so I got to move this so I can see the time on it. So again, we're coming up. It has some showers moving in the afternoon in the lower parts of Lenawee and Monroe, and then the rain and snow coming in. This is 1 a.m. Still here. You can see the 3K really has a good dividing line. If we look at temps here at this point, let's see. It's still at the southeast part of Oakland County, 37 degrees, while the northeast side is 34. Down in Wayne, Monroe, all those places right along the shoreline still has them in the mid-upper 30s. So that is one reason why there is that. And you can see the temps are starting to drop here. By 7 a.m., it's still 36, 37. And let's go here. And then it has more snow come in. And then you can see it still has the snow sticking around. And it has the low just wrapping here, just starting to wrap around. And then the winds from the north come in and start putting in that lake effect. So this is 8 p.m. tomorrow. You can see how the lake effect has those big bands coming through. It's crazy. And then kind of clears out. The western side of the state still getting lake effect on Monday afternoon. And then that just goes through 7 p.m. Again, let's just look at the snowfall totals, just for fun. Just for fun, guys. And this one doesn't have that much. It looks like a lot's coming down on the thumb, but doesn't really have any. Again, it's weird. Let's see the snowfall depth. Doesn't hardly have any snow at all, but the bands look really strong. So we'll see. Let's move on to another model real quick here. Precipitation type. And let's try, what do we want to look at today? Let's go to this. This is going to take over this experimental. The RRFS is going to take over the HRR model. So it's still in the experimental stage. It actually won't be here in a couple of months. So let's just look at it and see what happens. This is 1 a.m. Sunday. You can see most models have that happening, have the snow moving in, and not really a whole lot. That's 8 a.m. Sunday. Doesn't really show anything, but you can see those bands starting to come in off the lakes. It has the bands more concentrated in Sanilac and Huron counties, and then comes down here, but it's pounding the thumb with snow. It is insane. This is 11 a.m. Monday. They're still getting snow until it all moves out. That is 10 p.m. Monday. So let's just see how much snow it put up there, just for fun. Yeah, that's over 20 inches. That's a lot of snow. Again, I don't think that's going to happen, but it's putting a lot of lake effect. It has nothing from the system hardly, an inch most places. And then up in Huron County, 21 inches, so 20 plus inches there. Sanilac County, over 20 inches. That's a lot. Let's just see what it says the snowfall depth is. Still over 20 inches in those places. If that happens, that'll be kind of crazy. I don't think that's going to happen. I wouldn't mind seeing it happen, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. Let's do the Canadian model here. Nope, they don't do that. Sorry. Let's just see how much the Canadian says is going to drop with snow. This is through Monday 1 a.m. It's hitting the thumb a lot with that lake effect. The rest of us, nothing. So the lake effect probably will be the main story here. See what the GFS has. Not bad. I do think all of us see our first snowflakes. What else? Let's just do national blend of models. So this is just a blend of all the models through 1 a.m. on Tuesday. So if you blend them all together, again, that M59 corridor, a good chance of 3 to 6 or even more, just depending on the lake effect. South of there, it'll be more of a 2 to 4. Let's just see how much. Oh, it doesn't have surface snow. It says surface ice on this one. But again, lake effect's the big story. I'll do a write-up with more detailed stuff later on today. But again, lake effect interests me. I would say if you're anywhere in the thumb, pay attention to the forecast and the lake effect. It could change. Those areas in Metro Detroit, they get lake effect. Stay watch. I know Ann Arbor, depending on it is, but they're not depending on the way the winds are. But it's usually the winds coming from the west for them. This northern northwest wind doesn't really favor the Ann Arbor area. But again, any place M59 north has a decent shot at getting some lake effect snow to add a couple inches onto whatever we get tomorrow morning, which again I think is going to average 1 to 3 for most people. Well, 1 to 2 for most people. There might be some spots of 3, but I think north of M59 is 1 to 2, south of there less than 2 inches. That's it for now. Talk to you later.